down the big issues: youth development, community programs, housing, jobs, and the challenges that shape us all. Loud, funny, real. The voices of experience from athletes, educators, advocates, and everyday warriors are all right here. This is where community comes to talk. This is The Michael Graham Show.
Good evening, folks. Welcome
From
to
the
Michael
court
Graham
to the
Show.
class.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Michael Graham Show. I'm here. My name is Michael Graham. I'm here with my co-host, which is Bobby Kisner.
What's up, peoples? Welcome to the show. We live streaming, Mike.
All right. For our guest tonight, we have Derek Gervin, who played professionally for the New Jersey Nets in the NBA and played overseas. He's also the brother of NBA legend George Iceman Gervin. And we also have a DC blacktop legend, Ricky Goins, famous for the blacktop in Washington, D.C. in the 70s, down in the Sherwood tournaments in the Urban Coalition. I'm bringing these guys on, and I want to welcome these guys to the Michael Graham Show.
How you doing, Mike? How you doing, fellas?
All right.
Fellas?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, and thanks for the invite.
You're more than welcome, man. You're more than welcome. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming on, because you can be doing anything else, but you're here with me, and I do appreciate that very much. What's going on with you now, Mr. Goins? I know it's been a while. I heard that you're, in the community doing some things, and just trying to find out what's going on so these young kids would know about our legends.
Well, I'm working with DC Department of Recreation.
Okay.
I'm over at Fort Stevens, old Luzon, up on 14th and Van Buren.
The great Luzon playground.
Yeah, we had some real good ball up there and leagues up there. I was at Kennedy for a minute down there. Then I was at LaSalle, Riggs LaSalle. They used to have a nice tournament of a Riggs LaSalle. Then I was at Lamont, where I grew up at. For a couple of years, but now I'm at Fort Stevens. That's when I still work with a few kids, but I only work with ones that's serious about going to school, Mike, because I'm old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at also. What about you, Derek? You got a lot going on down in San Antonio and also Detroit. Not only that, you're a Hall of Famer. Tell us about it.
Well, it's been a good, I'll say, the last 9 months. I went into my school, University of Texas, San Antonio. I was inducted into their Hall of Fame in October of 2024. And so to get another call a few months later and being told that I'm going into the Basketball Hall of Fame, and it's not the ABA or anything, so people just do your due diligence. Basketball Hall of Fame is like the 7th year of existence. My brother George went in 2023. Guys like Isaiah Thomas, they're already in. I'm going in with Alvin Robertson, the defensive wizard, and guys like Vernon Maxwell, Ruthie Bolton Holyfield. If some of you guys familiar with the WNBA back in the day. So I get to do it at home, man. And I mean, that's a blessing. That's, part of your legacy is how you're going to be remembered. And the basketball part I appreciate, but as we'll get into later, my biggest thing is dealing with the young people like Mr. Rick just said. And that's the best feeling I've ever had.
Hey, Derek, so you're talking about the Hall of Fame in Detroit, right?
No, it's called the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's going to be the event is going to be in Detroit.
Oh, so they're calling it
that. Yeah, but it's all, Alvin and all them guys, none of them are from Detroit. So
that's what I thought you were saying. Okay.
No, it's from all over the United States. And
okay.
So they got this guy, Jordan Queen. He got with some guys from the Continental Basketball Association. And they made this happen. And so it's been a long process, but it's finally here. I'm excited. August 17th, I get to go in, being inducted in my hometown. And yeah, I mean, that's a blessing, man. I mean, I don't even know. I don't have too many words I can say right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, so I just want to start with Ricky, man, Goins, and you got your son, Ricky Goins Jr. is doing so much in the city. Can you share a little bit about what he's doing?
Um, yeah, he started. What happened was when I when he was coming up, I tell him about all the guys that played ball when I came up because DC was a real hotbed. We were a baseball town first back like in '71, and then the Senators left, so DC became a basketball town. So from like '71 all the way to I say like now it was it's been a basketball town, but I told him about all the guys that I played with, and he was fascinated with them because I had Ricky late. They had Ricky when I was like 29, almost 30 years old. But when he got 14, 15 years old, he was playing in leagues with me. So I had him around. People like all the major guys that played with ball at that time. So he was fascinated with the guys that came out telling the stories how tough it was coming up playing ball in my area. So once he got connected, I got him connected with a few guys, Stacy Robinson, Bootney, Green, a couple other guys, and they started helping him learn the people around the area. So what he did, he decided to put together a legend league and bring back the players so the guys his age that didn't know about us would learn about them. And I thought he was just going to teach them. He put a league together, and them guys started playing again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and then from there he started what they call he said we had a lot of guys coming through the gym, and they could play well, but they weren't getting any offers. So he started something called Every Kid Deserves a Shot. So he was getting the kids that could play but wasn't getting the looks like the top 10, top 20, top 100 in the country. And we got him in the gym. We worked a lot of them out, and him and a guy named Brian got him in schools. And once he got him in schools, then he would transfer them to major schools, and that's how he got into Then he started doing a whole lot of other stuff. He just brought back the capital class a couple years back, so he every time he come up with something new, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's a bright kid, and I thank all the people that came up with me that put their hands on him, man, and just help him do what he do, man. You know, especially guys like Mike and a whole lot of guys that put their hands on him, man. You know, I love him for that, man.
And he's got a lot of players that's in the NIL, the naming, image, and likeness, and he's coordinating, organizing, and those young guys too, a whole lot of them too. So
Yeah.
just wanted to bring it up, especially since this is your namesake.
Yes, he does that because once he was doing the transferring kids and getting kids to school 7, 8, 9 years ago, he made a lot of connection with coaches. And now that if he was doing it when he was transferring top transfers, there wasn't no portal. There wasn't giving no money like they're giving now. So now it's right up his alley. You know what I'm saying? He understands the coaches, and see he talks to the coaches like agents can't talk to coaches. He already got 5, 6, 7, 8 years of dealing with these coaches. So when the kids come in and all the things I'm telling you that he did for these kids over the years, we never asked for a dime. We never worked the kid out. We never got a cent from any kid because when I came up, nobody charged me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They helped me along the way. And, you know, my thing was always trying to help the next person. I passed that down to him, and that's what he do. But now they got the NIL. They giving out that crazy money. You know what I'm saying? So they should share. I tell them all the time, man, you should share a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? They should share a little bit with you because he gonna always be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? The guys out there, they get kids and try to do money grabs. Because I could work out 1,000 kids, but I know if 100 of them, 99% of them can't play, I'm not gonna take their parents' money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was never into that, and he does the same thing, man. But he's smart as a whip, man. And I'm proud of him, man. But most importantly, man, I thank guys like Mike, man, for pulling his coattail, man, and helping him along the way, man. You know what I'm saying? And I thank y'all.
Well, he really helped me because I'm a believer, a firm believer of these guys should always know their past.
Yes.
To see where they come from because I always stress that and I always give guys props who played before me because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be playing. And I really didn't play until I stayed back into the ninth grade, you know, and I didn't want to be arrested no more. So I had to play, you know. So, yeah, I mean, that without a given, man, I honor that guy, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Derek, tell me about, you said you deal with the young people is it San Antonio?
Yes. Hey, before I even talk about the what I do down here, can I bring up a name? And I want to send a shout out because you guys are the DC area. I met a gentleman that I talked to last year. I know he passed in 2024, Mr. Butch McAdams.
Oh, my God. The basketball historian.
Yeah, I want to say rest in peace to Butch. I got to talk to him actually several times after the first interview. And so, yeah, I had to make sure I bring up his name.
Yeah. Good. That's my man. That's our guy.
Yeah, Mr. Butch McAdams. Rest in peace.
Yeah, thank you. That's honorable, man.
Right,
Butch is a great guy, man. And he would look. A lot of DC history went when he passed, man.
Yes. Well, down here in San Antonio, we got a program. I'm working with a group down here at one of the community places. Very nice facility called Cornerstone.
Okay.
And so I'm down here with some guys that played, locally in San Antonio, but they have a really good program. So we have guys come out, like one of the guys, he's currently still with the Spurs by the name of Charles Bassey. And so, Charles comes out there and works out, and we deal with all, different age groups. And I even got to coach last month. I got to coach some 7th graders. So for me, man, that's what it's about. I tell these kids, and I'm being straight. I'll say it on the air. I tell these young people, I don't even know if I'll still be alive if it wasn't for them. 62 years old now. I lost my mom in 2019. So, yeah. So, dealing with these kids, and that's how we come from Detroit, man. Mike, you talked about your what you had to go through to keep from going back to jail and stuff like that, right? So being from the inner city of Detroit. Of course, it wasn't easy, a very rough city. So my mom always kept us in programs, man, kept us doing things in the summer. They say idle time is the devil's workshop. So mom makes sure she kept us doing things, positive things. And then so we moved to San Antonio. George called my sister, actually, and asked her to come down here. So she came in 1981. And they started working together. They opened up the George Gervin Youth Center. My sister is currently the state representative for the east side of San Antonio.
Oh, okay.
So I'm proud of that. So we down here to do more than just the basketball, but that's a part of the Gervin name. That's a part of our life, and I enjoy the basketball part. But I'm just as proud as my brother and sister. Mike, you saw something on Facebook yesterday that Bobby and Rick probably didn't see. My brother has a vodka coming out. He doesn't drink.
Whoa.
He doesn't drink, but he has a vodka coming out. It was his son's idea.
What is it called?
It's called Ice 44.
I want mine. Give me mine. I want mine.
It hasn't come out yet, but it's on its way. George is actually in the Bahamas right now as we speak.
Who's the brand?
It's I got to look at it because I didn't even really look at the bottle. I'm just getting familiar with it, basically like everyone else.
Wow.
George sent me some pictures the day before yesterday, and I was like, man, what is this? Because my brother, he doesn't drink. And then he said that him and his son came up with a good idea. So they're gonna try the vodka thing, and I hope it's a success all around the world, man. I gotta say that because my brother, he's more than just a finger roll guy. He's a friend, man. And I'm hoping one day, Mike, when he gets back, I can ask him and maybe we can come on the show together.
That would be great.
Oh, man, I think he would enjoy it. I actually did interviewed him and Dr. J. The same show.
My old time.
Him and Dr. J together, man.
So let's do that. Let's do that.
Man. So I'll see if we can get him to come on, and he'll be loose. He likes these kind of platforms, and we just be ourselves, and we just chop it up.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, well, right now we're supposed to have a third guest. I know Philip Gamble. Unfortunately, he's having problems getting on, so I'm still trying to get him on, because that's a guy that I watched growing up in my neighborhood playing. I knew him ever since, man. He was a little snotty nosed kid, man, and and I wish he could have got on here tonight. But if he don't get on here tonight, we're gonna definitely have him back.
And he played on that team with UConn. I think that was the first NIT championship.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And he had a hell of a year, and he went to locally St. Anthony's, where they had a hell of a team in high school.
Where George Thompson,
St. Anthony, who's that? Is that Hurley?
No, that's in New York.
Be Coach Thompson.
Okay, y'all talking that?
Yeah, when Coach Thompson left, they had quite a few coaches, and they were pretty competitive and pretty good throughout the years.
Yeah, that's where John Thompson coached first from Georgetown.
Right. How come more people don't know that KD and people like that from that area, like Carmelo, and what's going on?
I'm gonna tell you. Do you want to tell them? Do y'all want to tell them? Okay, this is the thing right quick, Derek. All three of us are from Washington, D.C. KD particular is from, he played out in Prince George County. I don't know if you saw that documentary, In the Water, and they really highlighted Prince George's County and didn't really give D.C. any love, but that's okay. But because now they call it the DMV, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. But guys from D.C. said it's Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Am I right, Ricky?
That's for sure, man. Because it may be that now, but back then it was D.C.
It's the suburb.
When I came out of school, I played between 73 and 76, and 75% of the guys that came out when I came out went Major D1 or Major D2 because I did my junior high school team with both. We won it in 71 and 72. We started 6'8", 6'8", 6'6", 6'5", 6'3", and me in the ninth grade. So I went to Remote Junior High School.
Oh, you went to Remote, okay.
Yeah, but high school,
DC.
Right, but high school, I went to Coolidge. We started 6'8", 6'8", 6'6", 6'5". I watch schools today. Their tallest man might be 6'1", 6'2".
Right.
So it's a different. Man, the competition was so tough when I came up. It was all outdoor courts. They didn't have a lot of gyms. You know what I'm saying? They had 2 courts out there. You had to work your way to the court where guys could really play at.
Right.
And it was you had the years I was in school, we had guys like Kenny Carr, Craig Shelton, Bebe Dern, Rat Tiff, Rodney Wright. We had Stacey Robinson. It was just a multitude. It was a multitude of guys. And that's the reason why they started the Capital Classic, because DC had the best players in the country, and they had everybody from the country to come and play us. Right. It's a little different now because you don't have a lot of guys coming out the city as major D1 players, maybe 1 or 2. And on my team alone, we had the Stretch brothers. They went to Wisconsin. I visited Wisconsin, but I went to USC and for a year and came back to UDC. Craig Shelton, Bebe Dern, Kenny Matthews, they went to Georgetown, North Carolina State. They was on Dunbar's team. The two Eastern had a guy named Steve Lincoln went to Villanova. They had Rat Tiff. They had what's the kid name that went to I can't think of, he was the best player on the team. He went to Maryland. We had
Billy Bryant.
Billy Brown was at Curl.
You talking about
Billy Bryant out Dutch was at Curl.
Right. And you talking about that? You talking about from that team that was Turk Tillman that went to
Turk Tillman, right. And Steve Lincoln. He went to Villanova. Right. Turk Tillman went to Maryland. Ratcliffe went to Tennessee. So every team.
Here we go. It's Phil Gamble.
Okay, and we had Barry Frazier went to Georgia. We everybody. JoJo Hunter went to Maryland. Billy Brown went to Maryland. We had so many players from the same city going to major schools.
So Ricky. So let me add on because I came out the year before you.
Okay, yeah.
And this is who I played against: Adrian Dantley,
right?
Kenny Carr, Hawkeye Whitney,
right?
I remember
JoJo Hunter. Yeah.
I remember
Stacey Robinson.
But I want to go back to guys that was in Austin Carr.
Oh yeah.
Who played at Cleveland, who was All-American. The other guys that came out was you had Elgin Baylor, you had Remember Sherman Douglas from
Oh
Spingarn?
yeah.
But so I know, Dirk. You can lay a list of
That was my point guard in high school.
Huh?
That was
Who
my
that,
point
Mike?
guard in high school.
Who was
Sherman
Mike?
Douglas.
Gene
That was my
Smith?
point guard.
No.
Throwing them
Nah, Sherman
alley-oops,
Douglas.
boy. Throwing
Oh
them
yeah.
alley-oops for the
Y'all
old
with the spin gun. They're the spin gun together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
Sherman was my
the
point
thing
guard.
is, Ricky and Phil, DC. What happened, and Ricky, why it's not that many ball players in DC, because all the parents who were living in DC, they moved out into the suburbs, and it took a lot of players from the inner high, which was the DC league. Hey, Phil Gamble.
There you go.
Yes,
you hear
yes.
Phil?
I'm here, but
Welcome,
I'm here,
Phil.
but I'm on my
How
phone,
you
man.
doing,
I'm
little
trying
bro?
to get. Hey, what's up, fellas?
Man,
What's up?
I'm
I'm trying to
glad
get.
see
man.
you, man. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. But I'm trying to get on my laptop, but me and my wife was in there trying to work it. I don't know what's going on, but hey, man, I've been listening to y'all, man, and it's a good feeling, man. Gervin, man, just to let you know, man, I had your brother poster up on my wall coming up, man.
Which one? The
That
one with
ice poster,
the
man.
I
ice?
did too.
And two
That's
ice
right,
cubes,
sit
yeah.
with the ice, man.
I try not to
Yeah.
talk much about it because a lot of people say I'm biased, but I've seen the Moses Malone, a lot of posters. But to me, George, that's still the best poster
That was the greatest.
I've seen.
That
in-
is. That is.
It's just my
Without a
opinion.
doubt.
That's what
That's the
the
greatest.
coolest. Yeah. Y'all know that's real ice, right?
It was?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know he was cold. I know he was cold. Hey, Phil,
They
what
gave
you
him a
been
little
up to,
slim,
man?
like cardboard or something slim, thin to sit on. But yeah,
Wow.
he's sitting on real ice. Yes.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my God, yeah.
So,
yeah,
Phil,
man.
tell
That
us a
was
little bit what you doing, Phil.
Say that again.
What you up to? Tell us what you doing now.
Hey, what I'm doing now, man. I was in Connecticut for a long period of time, man. After UConn, just to give y'all a little history, we won that first championship with Jim Calhoun, the NIT, and I was MVP. And then I went to the 76ers for a little bit, man, trying to make them, and then went overseas to South Korea and Finland and Sweden, and came back and went out to Portland. But basically, I got that tryout with Portland Trailblazers with Rick Adelman because I was co-captains with Cliff Robinson, who passed away, man.
Oh, I know that.
Who
Yeah.
we was co-captains at UConn together.
Cliff had a hell of a
Yeah, he
career.
passed
yeah.
away. So yes, he did, man. And so I went out there, I tried out there, then I went back overseas for another like 5 years. So I was overseas for like 8 years, man. Then came back and tried the ABL and all that, and as it went up and down, man. So I used my degree, man, and I started working with kids. I was in the juvenile detention center in Hartford, Connecticut, and then I started working for Senator Christopher Murphy in Connecticut, and then I coached a little bit, high school, Takeo Post, Division II for a little while, and then high school in Connecticut for a little while, and then I came down here, man. I met my high school sweetheart after 33 years, man. We got married, and so I'm down here in North Carolina, man. I'm loving it down here, and
What part of North Carolina?
I wear my UConn stuff down here. I'm in I lived in Raleigh, and then I lived in Cary, but right now we live in Benson, North Carolina, man.
Where
What's
Live
the
in
closest
Benson,
big
North Carolina,
city?
and I wear my.
The
Say that
closest
again.
biggest city. The closest
Where
biggest
is
city.
that?
Benson, it's closer to it's South Raleigh, North Carolina. It's closer to South Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay. I thought it was Charlotte or something. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, man, but yeah, I wear my UConn stuff down here, and of course, I run into Duke and North Carolina people, man, and
Yep.
they.
Can you get Bobby Hurley to start
So
acting right, man? Or Danny Hurley, I'm sorry. Danny Hurley, man, to start acting right. He represents a great school, man. Don't mess it up, man.
I don't know,
Exactly.
man. Yeah, he's sort of cocky. I think he's a little bit cocky, which he should be. I mean, they got pedigree.
man.
They got pedigree.
You don't want to.
Yeah, but but we supposed to be setting an example, man. And you got to think about all these kids. I think people forgot that we're supposed to be setting examples for these kids. And there's two kind of examples. There's really good ones and there's really bad ones.
Right.
Right.
And we got to teach them at this point in our life with the stuff we're going through. We got to teach them. You mentioned the education, sir. So that's important now more than ever. So we got to teach them to make good decisions.
Uh-huh.
And that's in sports.
I totally agree.
Off the court, off the field, whatever it may be. We got to get things turned around. Right now, we're not exactly on the top of the chain, I'll say, as far as the African Americans.
Right.
So we already got 2 strikes. Now, if you really look at what's going on now, we got 3 strikes.
Yeah.
So we got to do the right things and teach these kids, man, how to come out of this nonsense that we're going through right now, how to overcome this foolishness.
So, Dirk,
Exactly.
that brings me to right quick, Mike.
Yeah.
Dirk, that brings me.
Yeah,
That brings me to this, Derek, because all of y'all are dealing with kids. All of us on this show is dealing with kids. And whoever wants to chime in first, what is the major difference between now kids and kids back then? Because we were going through stuff too back then, you know, in our years. But what is there really a difference, or what is the difference?
Can I chime? I'll say something. It's a big difference. I'm probably older than all you guys. I know I'm the oldest guy on here. It's a big difference. When I was growing up, when I was a youngster, we had, everybody in the neighborhood, all the people knew you in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And they all had a right to discipline you.
Right.
You acted up out in the streets, you got disciplined. So you got disciplined
exactly.
by the neighbors. And when you got home, you was getting it. And I'm not saying it has to necessarily be physical.
Exactly.
You got chastised for your behavior. Mm-hmm. And today it's a different time because you got a lot of the parents still trying to burn the midnight oil. So you got a lot of kids that's raising themselves. And you know what happens when you out here raising yourselves. They don't go out and on the basketball courts like they used to. You don't see the tennis courts full. You don't see the base. So you giving them all this idle time. And we talked about that earlier. When you got idle time, a lot of times people make bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And that's where we come in, man. We gotta do better, man. It breaks my heart to see the stuff we're going through today. We got a lot of these great, even the athletes like you guys, every one of us know some players that could really, really, really play some basketball.
They didn't make it.
And they didn't make it because of behavior. And so that's the stuff we got to worry about today, man. I want to see these kids succeed. Every kid that you can help. If you help one, I'm the type of guy I believe you can help 2. And then I'm going to try to help 3. Right. And we got to continue to do it as a unit. And that's what they missing today. Everybody, they used to say it takes a village to raise a child. And there go your answer, what we missing today. We don't have that village anymore.
Right, but and from my perspective, I think I might be the oldest one on the panel other than Kenza. My opinion is when we came up, we had coaches that understood the game. They played the game. You know, when I was at the rec centers, we had coaches that went to high school, college, or played pro ball, teaching us sports. And I thought that as time went on, we started getting guys around the game that did not play, that thought and kids missed stuff. When we came up, it was pass, cut, shoot. Now everybody who touched the ball dribbles. And a pass will always beat the dribble. When we came up, if somebody in front of you and you don't pass the ball, you sitting on the bench. You're not going to dribble 15 times and then pass the ball to the guy beside you and still play. That is not the way we play. We play what they call the drill we do 3-man weave. You pass the ball to the man in front of you at all times. Kids don't play like that. And what happened, and for me, having a kid myself, what really hurt DC wise is when crack came out, you had the guys that really knew the game and fell off into the street. So you go to a practice and you got 10 kids and one father. And the father has a son. He never played no ball or nothing before, but now he want to coach the team. Now he's coaching the team 3, 4, 5, 6 years now, and really didn't teach these kids the real fundamentals. And when they get to junior high school, they don't have the skills to play. But he's a coach, and that's what hurt the kids. When I came up, everybody who taught me played the game. It wasn't no thing where everybody on the court playing, anybody can come call the game. You had to work your way to the court. These kids today, and I be around kids all the time because I'm in the recreation department. These kids don't understand the game. And the coaches around them, a lot of them that's coaching kids, they get in it because of the money. They get in it because they know someone, as opposed to knowing the game themselves and actually playing the game themselves at a high level. So that's my opinion what's going on with the kids today.
Yeah.
They don't, and number two, they don't know how to lose.
Exactly.
See, I played football, basketball, baseball from the time I was 5, 6 years old because my older brothers played. They were all Mets, all Americans in football, basketball, and baseball too. So I played football, basketball, and baseball. So I was supposed to come out and play ball. The kids today, they don't see that, especially in the DC area. They don't see somebody in front of them and trying to emulate somebody, and that's what hurting the DC area players. Because I look around and in the high don't have but 1 or 2 players that go to college, and that's totally different than when I came out of school.
Yep.
We had 5, 6, 7 D1 players on each team. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion. What's going on?
Phil,
with the kids.
we should take Phil.
Yeah, my take is this. It's like when I was coming up, man, I grew up down Southwest DC, and Mike, you know all about that, man, where we grew up at. And it was rough times down there, man. We had I hate to say it, but we had like a serial killer down there, man. And it was and you didn't know, it was just tough coming up down there, but you had to hold your own. And just like you said, man, we don't see the kids on the courts playing ball no more like that. I mean, they are like inside. I mean, or they not dedicated to the game like that. When I was coming up, my dad wasn't in my life, so it was all my coaches, man, from number 4 Boys and Girls Club down Southwest DC, and my middle high school coach, and so all my coaches were good role models for me, man, and they kept me straight. I went through a little trouble here and there, but nothing major. But the way I look at it now, because what I do now, I'm a juvenile probation officer, man. So, and I work with these kids, and I got some kids that's in jail for murder, but they was playing AAU basketball, and I'm like, oh my God. Then I hear about, because I'm down here, and I go into their neighborhood, and I hear how good they was playing and how well they were, how good they were, and then I found out that, then I'm like, I go back and I visit them in jail, and man, these kids had a chance to play maybe some college basketball or so forth, man. So it's tough to see, but where I came up, just like it was said, if a neighbor see you doing something, the neighbor would get on you, then you go home, and then you're gonna get got on too.
Yep.
I mean, right now the way I look at it now is, we're missing a lot of guidance right now, and the kids I'm working with now down here in North Carolina, man. The parents are scared of the kids, man. It's sad because they young, they on drugs, or they strung out or something like that. But it's sad. But I want to back up a little bit, Mr. Goins. I came on the Red Cup, man, and Ricky was there with Smitty's brother, Kurt
Smith.
And so forth, man.
Man. He put that together too, the Red Cup. I forgot about that one.
Were you on that, Phil?
Yeah, I was on that, man, and I came on there because me and Smitty, Kurt, Smitty brother Charles Smith, we played together at St. Anthony's. Yeah. So he was out. He was out injured, man. He was out injured, man. When he came in the game, he would look at us and say, "Hey, if you don't run, you don't get the ball." So, as simple as that, man. But it was kind of tough.
Charles or Kirk? Which
he talking about Charles?
Charles. Yeah. But and then on top of that, coming out of St. Anthony's with John Thompson coach. But our coach was Aaron Long, and then it was Dwight Datcher. He passed away. Then Aaron Long took over. Yep. And then so we was ranked number 3 in the country. Mike, I'm hit you with this though. Yep. We was ranked number 3 in the country, and Spingarn was number 1 in the country, and we was trying to play y'all.
Sherman.
Yeah, with Sherman Douglas in them, and for me playing in the Big East, and every time we played Syracuse, man, it was a wonderful thing just to play against somebody from my hometown, man, and and just be out there balling against them and so forth, man. But But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. But I wanted to go to Georgetown, but they wanted to redshirt me. And they had Bobby Winston, who was on our team
Yeah.
in high
Uh-huh.
school,
Uh-huh.
Sam Jefferson,
Yep.
Oh,
Charles
yeah.
Smith. All three of them went to Georgetown, but
Oh,
they wanted to redshirt me. And so I said, man, I don't want to sit out. I don't want to sit
No.
out. You know,
Uh-uh.
So I went to UConn, man. That's what turned me to ready to go to UConn, man. So
Okay. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wondered why.
yeah,
You know,
man.
I never asked. You know, I even asked Daryl, you know, why he didn't go to Georgetown. He explained to me why, and you know, I just want a different takes from different people just to see, you know, and yeah, it was like either their way or the highway. So if you don't do
Yeah,
things their way, then you know you're not part of the program. So
Hey, Mr.
exactly.
Hey, Mike, can I say something quickly on the thing about the coaches?
sure.
My brother's 73 now, right? George is
Uh-huh.
73.
Mhm.
His coach in high school, his assistant coach, who was really like a second dad to George,
I saw
is
that.
best friends with Oscar Robertson to this day.
What?
His name is Bill Merriweather, William Merriweather.
Okay.
And so he's a Purdue legend. And where do you think he lives today, all these years later? We're talking about coaches and the kind of impact they make, the lifelong impact.
Uh-huh.
We're in San Antonio, so where do you think Georgia's coach is?
He's in San Antonio too?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
What?
87 years old. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Oh man.
Okay.
Your
Wow.
brother had an interesting little stint in college. People don't know about your brother and
Jerry Tarkanian.
yeah, he was
What?
playing at
Yeah,
Jerry Tarkanian,
but at that time, Tarkanian was at Long Beach State.
right.
Okay.
And your brother stole this big white guy, and
Oh, that happened. No, this is after Long Beach State was first. He
Right.
went out to Long Beach State. Jerry
Yeah.
Tarkanian flew in to Detroit and all that, and got him. George went out there for maybe I'll say 2 weeks,
right.
and then he just felt like a fish out of water. That was not what he was used to. He was used to the city. That time he wanted to be Iceberg Slim and all that kind of stuff.
The pimp iceberg.
So it was a culture shock for him. So he went back home.
Right.
And when he went back home, he ended up going out to Eastern Michigan.
That's what it
Okay.
was. Right.
Yeah, but when he was with Tarkanian, Tark did everything he could to get George to come back, but
Right.
he had his mind made up.
George sort of got blackballed when he hit the white boy at East.
Yeah, Brian Picola, and he talked about it in his documentary. He sent the guy an apology letter.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
He talked to him, and I gotta say, man, and George was about 18, 19 at that time.
Right.
Right.
Right now, this guy is 73, man. He's the most mild-mannered. If you ever make a bad decision, I would put you in front of him first.
Well,
Right.
He would tell you firsthand how
all I know is-
it altered his career at that time. He got kicked out of college in his second year.
Yeah, that's what I want to bring. He got kicked
So,
out.
yeah, so he had to go the same route I went. He had to go to the CBA, Continental Basketball Association, and then he was fortunate for someone to get the word out to him from someone, to in the ABA, and then the ABA came and checked him out, and from there the rest is history.
So let me ask you this: the Continental, the CBA been out that long? It was around
Yeah.
that long?
That was one of the under the NBA at the beginning when we were young.
Uh-huh.
So when I went to Texas A&I University from Penn State, I went to a free agent camp. I fractured my foot my senior year, so I missed. And I went to a free agent camp in Tulsa,
Mhm.
and the coach from Arkansas, what was his name? God, that one.
Not Nolan Richardson.
Thank you very
No.
much.
Nolan
Nolan
Richardson.
Richardson was at Tulsa at the time.
Whoa.
And this is 1979, right? And so we playing, and guys from overseas, mostly overseas. They said it was the NBA players, but there weren't no NBA coaches, mostly overseas. But this one guy came from the New York. It was a New York CBA team, and it was his first year, right? And we were like, man, ain't nobody trying to go in no damn CBA, because back then you played 10 at home and 8 on the road, and they got into a van, and they rode the top of all those non-popular cities like South Dakota and places like this, eating
Mhm.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he
Oh,
was
yeah.
trying to convince us. And guess who it was?
Oh,
Phil Jackson. That was his first
Yeah.
job.
Oh, yeah.
that was my coach. That was my first coach in the CBA, Phil
Yeah.
Jackson.
What team
Yeah.
was it? What team was that, Mike?
It was a bad experience. Why? Because during that time, my mother had passed, and I was at a bad time coming back. I shouldn't have came back, and then he wanted to do all this yoga and me to read books, and I wasn't with
Zen
that
and
stuff.
shit.
Yeah, and then he wanted me to just rebound. Didn't think about that's where my strengths are, rebounding and playing defense. So I'm getting upset because you have these older guys like Lowe's Moore and Derek Rowland and Kenny Nat, which are the veterans that were the glue of the team. They was doing all the shooting. And me being a rookie and dumbfounded, I'm getting upset. So that relationship didn't last too long.
So
And
do
I'm,
y'all know what?
I'm apologizing because they got Kenny Nat taking shots over you. He wasn't Calvin Nat.
Not Calvin.
Kenny
Nat.
was, Kenny was,
Hey,
Kenny was
one
the
thing I can
defensive.
tell you, once that ball with the Kenny Nat, you're not gonna get it back.
Oh, he putting it up, but I'm saying he was more of a defensive guy as well.
Yeah,
So do y'all know what happened to the CBA?
Isaiah Thomas messed it up.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah
Thomas
Thomas.
He ruined it.
He brought the CBA, but the NBA played him.
How was that?
The NBA played him. So Isaiah Thomas bought the CBA, right?
Uh-huh.
And the NBA played him because the NBA that was the farm team for the NBA for the longest.
Right.
But then they sold it to him and they started
The G League.
The G League.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so Isaiah, he's like now he's got and CBA was really coming along. They were developing.
It was.
But Isaiah shut them down because he was trying to make the CBA the NBA's farm team, but the NBA paid him. They played him. They sold him the CBA, and then they started the G League. So he just shut the whole thing down. Destroyed. It was a bunch of coaches that was pissed, but he destroyed the whole CBA. That's how the CBA ended up.
And that's why I think he'll never get back in the league. I mean, I love Isaiah. Don't get me wrong. Hell of a player.
Well, he's been sitting in the stands with the guy from. He's been last couple of years. He's been sitting. What's the guy? Is it Portland? One of them teams. He's been sitting with the owner, and they'll flash it when he's sitting with. So I don't know if he's trying to get back in. It seems like everything he's sort of touched sort of never worked out. But White Quick,
that's true.
Phil, right quick, man, because most players, American players, know about the NBA. But can you just talk a little bit about, and you too, Mike, because you played in Europe, and but Derek, you played mostly in the States, but
no, I played mostly overseas.
You went overseas too?
I played 12 years overseas.
Oh, whoa! I thought those teams I looked up were like
no, I played in like Spain, and I played in the CBA.
Israel.
I used that to get overseas.
So Phil, you go first, and then Derek. Phil, tell me a little bit about your experience overseas, because a lot of people don't know. And look, shameful plug. I have a book out called "The Other Side of the Hoop: The European Basketball Experience." It's on Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and it came out last year. And I'm talking about my 5 years in Europe. But Phil, just give us a little brief about your experience. How was it?
Yeah, when I first went over there, after trying out with the 76ers, and then that was like 90 going into 91. I went over to South Korea, and it was like 3 Americans on the team. And at the time, we stayed in a hotel, and I was over there with Eldon Campbell. We was over there together. And then Eldon came back right quick. Eldon Campbell came back right quick, and he told me one morning, he said, "I'm going back." He said, "I'm going to the Lakers." I was like, "Oh my God!" And so that motivated me to try to keep playing hard. I was like, "Okay." So he left, and then he went back. But I had a good time over there. It was a place called Itaewon. It was like a little New York, man. And you go down there, you see all the Koreans dressed up in in suits and all that type of stuff. So it was. But then I was there for like 6 months, and then next thing you know, my agent called me and he said, "Hey," he said, "I think this lead is going to fall through." He said, we're gonna try to get you somewhere else. So I was like, wow. So I'm struggling trying to make it, trying to keep my dream alive. You know what I mean? So
I know.
so I left there, and then I came back. I went back to Connecticut, and then like probably like a month later, I went back over to Sweden. And I
Oh,
went over to Sweden, and I was there for like 8 months. I played over there and stuff like that. So it was a little different. The money wasn't like nowhere near what it is now, you know. And
right.
but I was taking that route, man, just because the love of the game, trying to make it, trying to see where I can, what I can do with my, from what I've learned over my years, man, and just to let you know, from elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, I was MVP. And then you get to the NBA, and I'm trying out with the 76ers, man, and you get cut. Man, that was tough. That was tough for me. I mean, because you MVP on every level, and then you get to the NBA and then you get cut, man. It was really tough, man. Because when I tried out there, Charles Barkley was there, okay, Andrew Toney, Dr. J had just retired. Uh, I'm there, and I'm kind of starstruck too. I'm looking at looking at Dr. J sitting in the stands and so forth, man. But um, so but I would do it all over again, man. But it was a little tough, man. I went through a little depression with it, man, and but then I went back to Connecticut and so forth. But then Portland, tried out with Portland, but it was three Americans on the team over there, um, and then they took us around, but the first lead I played with over in South Korea that fell through after a few months and so forth. But then I played in the ABL, the CBL,
Yeah,
CBL, and so it was like start small playing in these small leagues and so forth, man. But yeah, so that's the route that I took, man. And but I would do it all over again. But now the way the money is over there now, man, people going
yeah. I
over
wish
there and
I was playing
these players going over there now and they just stand and making a living over there,
there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
went
So,
in
yeah.
'79.
but yeah,
So
that's how my
go ahead.
say that again.
No, go ahead. You finish what you
Yeah,
were.
so but that's the route that I took, man.
Uh,
So
So Derek,
I still I still stay in touch with Jim Calhoun,
uh-huh.
and he told me this. He said that he had some players on his team that they didn't get out of their way, meaning that once they didn't make it and so forth, they didn't get out of their way, and they kind of went through a period where he said some of them didn't really survive, get themselves going until they was in like their 50s, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. I
And when
find that
he
out a
reached
lot.
out to me, he sent me,
Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
he
Uh-huh.
sent me I sent him a letter. I
Uh-huh.
sent Jim Calhoun a letter when everything started coming down, and I said, what did you do when all the cheering and clapping stopped, man? And and he said, I knew you was gonna have a rough time for a little bit. He said
Wow.
because you was MVP on every level, and then you got to the pros. So, but he called me and we talked, and man, I tell you, I think that was the best talk I had because I was, I didn't come home to DC too much after that because I was trying to get myself, out of a hole, man, out of a hole,
right,
but and then I went back and got my degree and so forth,
good
man,
stuff.
and so I'm so glad I had that talk with him because I don't know where I would have landed if I didn't have that talk with him. I think that was the best talk I had because he
Sure.
said I had a lot to offer and so forth, and so I look back and now, man, because I missed 15 games my second year, my sophomore year,
So Phil,
because
this is thing.
I had
There's
a
this
big head, man, coming into UConn. I'm starting as a freshman
Mm-hmm.
right.
with Cliff Robinson, and so I wasn't studying like I supposed to, and then my junior year after we won that championship, in the summertime I broke my wrist, so I didn't come back strong my senior year like I wanted to.
Right.
So it was a lot of things happened, man, through my
So,
career, man.
so Phil, so
But
check
still
this
to
out.
this day, I still stay in touch with Jim Calhoun, and
Check this out, Phil.
so it's yeah,
So,
he's a good role model.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so there's this theory
Mm-hmm.
that old ball players speak about. It's called holding on to the ghost of Naismith. It's two
Mm-hmm.
theories. Or it's called holding on to the ghost of Naismith, right? and a lot of guys do it.
Yeah.
Like look at Kareem with Patrick Ewing. Patrick should have gave it up. He was walking down the court, looked like his knees would hurt my knee.
Yes, that hurt me.
Sometimes you just don't know when to give it up. And then this is the other theory. And Ricky, you appreciate this one, right? Because this is a DC saying. A lot of ball players have that disease called they thought they better than they were.
Yes, I agree with that, because if you look at these tournaments, 56 and over, 58 and over, man, I would not get out there to save my life. I can't jump off a sidewalk.
And
I'm gonna go out there,
and I can't do
it. and knowing I got a job every day to go out there and play and be done break something. Okay,
exactly.
Get up the next day for work.
Exactly.
Are you out your mind?
Well.
But this is the thing, Mike. This is the thing. I go to these 50 over, 60 over, and I'm seeing guys that are acting like they were superstars, right, in the league. And I'm like, dude, I don't remember you playing in a high. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right? I don't remember you playing. You wasn't even playing on a team when I was
exactly.
but that's the ghost of Naismith, man. But it's funny though, man. It's funny. But and I hope you don't mind. But Derek, I just want to go to you right quick, Mike. Hey, Dirk, the secret, man, I looked you up. I didn't know nothing about you. I just know all about your brother, and you got one serious damn career. And now I looked at this picture of you shooting a jump shot. So was your game like your brother? Because your form looked just like your brother's.
Yeah,
all right.
His shot is a lot sweeter than mine.
But yours look like that same. All being out, y'all had that same thing.
Hey, they always told me it depends on how. If it goes in, then it's a pretty shot. So the form, as long as you got the follow through and all that, it's good.
Right. So did you have a finger roll?
Oh, I'm a Gervin, man. We grew up that way. We use both hands. Even today, my little nephews that play today. I'm serious. We work on that. The stuff that you see like Kyrie doing today.
Right.
That's how we grew up. We had to be able to use both hands. Right. I had two brothers that were better than George at the time. George had become a heck of a player till he was about 17 or 18. They wouldn't even pick him. So I learned, but that's how I learned, and then I finally got my opportunity to go overseas. I went overseas as a 24-year-old in 1987, and I went on a touring team from some guys around the United States. And so two guys on that team, you guys will probably be familiar with Ron Brewer, played for Arkansas, Boothead, of course, and played for City Moncrief, and the other one was Wes Matthews.
Yep.
So we traveled.
Wes Matthews. Yeah.
So we went over to
Wes Matthews, DC, Wes Matthews.
They talking about. You might be talking about. You talking about the senior.
Yeah, senior.
He went to Wisconsin.
When I went to visit Wisconsin, from Bridgeport.
When I went to visit Wisconsin, me and him was going there because the stretch brother and me went to Wisconsin.
You can remember him. I hate to say it. You see Xavier McDaniel choking him on a video. And I hate to say that. That's when they did that with me around. But
hold up, man. That's my man.
Hey, man, but he's my man too. But just keep your hands to yourself. Hey, Mike, I blocked your guy's shot 3 jumpers in a row. Ask him.
Who the heck?
Yeah, I'm probably the only guy ever blocked his shot 3 times in a row. But on the serious note, though, I went overseas at 24, and I went to Spain. And so my first year, I went over there, and people don't believe it, but I averaged 48 points a game.
Damn.
The second highest guy in the division was 33 points a game. It was 2 guys. But I, went over there and played, man. I like to score. It always helps when you got teammates that don't mind you getting the attempts. And so long as you get along with your teammates. But my biggest experience was Israel. I heard one of you guys mention Israel. And I went and played over there for 3 years. And the main reason I went back the last 2 years is because I wanted to, all the things you hear and you read in the Bible, I wanted to have a chance to experience it firsthand.
Right.
So I went over Israel and I played, man, and it was heaven from day one. They took my wife on a tour.
Did you play against Maccabi Tel Aviv?
I sure did. Got my butt whooped for 3 years straight against Maccabi.
Was Aussie Perry there?
No, he was actually out right before I got there. And he's still on Facebook big time. He was on Facebook. But so I played when I was over there. Randy White used to play for the Dallas Mavericks. Was over there.
Right.
Tom Chambers actually ended his career there.
What?
So he was there. Yeah, Tom was there my third year.
Big
My last year,
high jumping white
could barely
boy.
dunk. 97, 98, he could barely dunk. And you guys talked about how some of these players are finished out. I actually was around Ralph Sampson.
Ooh.
And when I saw Ralph, when Ralph could hardly get around, actually sat and talked to him for probably 30 minutes. And so it's just amazing when we see how some of these guys, we saw them at the apex of their careers. Keith Lee.
Yeah.
I went to Argentina, All-American Memphis. Yes, I went to Argentina and played. Keith Lee was there. He was on his last leg. And so seeing these guys from when they were superstars and to see them at the end of their careers, it just kind of
Naismith couldn't let go to Ghost.
Well, yeah, and that's the truth. And I quit at 38, and I quit because my last year of my career, I played in the ABA in Detroit. They had a team, and George was the coach, and I got to play with my nephew, G. Gervin, George Jr.
Wow.
And so that was my last year. My back was hurting. So all of us.
Guess so at 38, goddamn.
Yeah, but I still, I felt good, man. But all that wearing, people kept asking me how I hurt my back.
That's the mind. Hey, your mind is here with me, but your body's on the other.
And that's how I felt, man. And because I'm a ping pong player, right? Yeah. So right. I can still do the ping pong thing, but they've been trying to get me to play down here, play basketball in these leagues for the last 20 years. I'm not exaggerating. I got a guy called every single year trying to get me to play because they see me shoot around with the kids and stuff. But shooting around and running around is two totally different things.
And that basket look higher than a
man. Look, when I retired, I retired. When I retired at 38, when I retired 2001. I didn't want to ever touch a ball again unless I'm helping the young people.
Right. Hey, Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky. Now, they won't know this. I don't know if Phil knows. He's a DC boy. But, Derek, Ricky comes from a family of a bunch of goddamn goings, right?
Yeah, we sure did.
And the pressure on you had to be a lot because your brothers came before you.
Yeah, it was a lot, but they all were really good. But I grew up around a whole bunch of guys that were good, man. In
Ricky,
DC,
I'm familiar with your last name.
Man, them guys. I came up with really good.
I'm a basketball. George calls me a basketball almanac. So if you want to know, everybody talk the game, and then there's people that actually study and keep up with it.
Yes,
I'm familiar with the Goins name, and then I'd already looked it up when Mike sent me the name of the people that were going to be on the show as well. Anyway,
cool.
Well,
I'm around royalty.
I just want to say, at 67 years old, I'm still going around. I'm one of them guys you say, man, that's out there playing.
Wait a minute.
I'm still playing with my son. I'm still playing with my son and my grandson, man.
How old are you?
You know what I'm saying? All I can do is I get my spot.
I'm not doing.
All I can do is get my spot, let it go, and hang down court, throw me a layup. I can make it from there.
Ricky, did you say you 67?
I'm 67. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I swear, man.
I still shoot. I got a grandson playing. I told him he got 3 more years to get me.
You 15 years younger than me.
Oh no, man.
67. You look good for your age.
I think I'm the youngest one. I think I'm the youngest one on here.
How old are you, Phil?
Yeah,
I think I'm the youngest one on here.
And then me.
I'm 59.
I want to say this, man, before we go about the coach thing. When I came up, they had a little place called they had a little tournament called the Ghetto Tournament. They took all the little kids, 12, 13, 14 years old, so that the high school coaches get a chance to see them. And I was MVP 2 years in a row, 12, 13 years old, and I had a chance to go to Coolidge or any other school I wanted to go to. I went to Coolidge because my brothers went to Coolidge. Okay. So I had a coach named Frank Wink. My junior high school coach was a guy named
coach in DC.
Well, I had a guy named Tony Upson that coached me in junior high school. He was the last cut of the Bullets when Earl Monroe was playing. Yeah, he taught me the fundamentals of the game. My high school coach, Frank Williams, rest his peace. He would teach you all the fundamentals. My college coach, Will Jones, taught me everything about the game, man. When he brought in the freshman team, Mike Britt and a few other guys, they ended up winning the national championship.
Earl Jones.
because he played the ABA 3 years. He made it where I can get a trial with the Pistons back when they had Dan Roundfield and Kelly Tripucka. So I played some league with them way back then. But the coach I want to talk about was John Thompson. Because see, when I came up, he like Craig Shelton, Baby Dern, and I was killing all of them. But he would tell me, say, Rick, I like you, but you too little. I was short, fast, and little. He said, but you too little. I said, John, man, you took a guy named Cheese Holloway that's my size.
Holloway.
Couldn't shoot you took Mike Riley that was my size, who couldn't shoot like me, but he wouldn't take me. And from that day forward, I was really upset at John Thompson. But I was upset at John Thompson for real when Mike was a freshman and he crushed Mel Turbin and Sam Bowie for a national championship. And he knew that he didn't know if Mike was going to come back the next year. He should have let Mike go pro after his freshman year. But Georgetown wasn't letting nobody leave the program at that time until Al Iverson did it. But Mike should have left the night they won a national championship. And I want to tell Mike that his whole life. Because if Mel Turbin could go number 6 and Bowie could go number 2, Mike should have been number 1 in front of both of them.
Hey, Rick, now I played Sam was my running buddy with the Nets, but I can't argue that.
Exactly. Mike was the big intimidator.
if anybody supposed to go
Mike was the intimidator. Yes, he was.
It was Mike Graham. Believe that.
Well, hey man, I want to thank y'all, man, and my plans, and it's coming out in the book. My plans, I wasn't coming back, and I think they knew it. He was telling me that I wasn't ready yet. I was immature. I can only play for a black coach. I had all these things against me. So that didn't help none either. I don't know where the black coach thing come from.
Right.
But yeah, it was around. So it was a lot of stuff that happened. People say it was academics.
No,
let me tell you something.
Mike, what it was is nobody ever left Georgetown, and he ain't want you to be the first.
Exactly.
Because after that, a lot of people would have went for hardship. But before we go, man, I want to say my little son, Rick, got a book out. I want everybody to take it, if you get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Let some people know about his little book. He do a whole lot of things, man. But just make sure y'all let some people know about the book he got out. But Mike, that's the reason why he didn't let you go your freshman year.
Yeah.
Because he knew if you had left your freshman year, he would have held on to a whole lot of different people, man.
I was on my way out, and they knew that because people don't know. During the middle of the season, Reggie left. I was blamed for that. This guy tells me, if I didn't tell him what Reggie was, he was going to ship my ass back to Southeast. Wow. And I didn't know what Reggie was because I was busy in Southeast. Reggie from Baltimore.
Well, Mike, man, Mike, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all y'all, man. Just to hear y'all stories, man.
Yeah,
just to hear y'all stories, man. That's good stuff, man. And so I appreciate all y'all, man. Just to be on here, just to be able to talk. Yeah. So, and Mike, that legendary point, man. That point running down the court. This pointing at, I don't know who you was pointing at. Who was you pointing at when you was running down the court? I think you know what I'm talking about.
I was, you know what? When I slammed the ball, I was pointing at Pat, and I said, "It's time to go home." That's what I said because I was ready to go home. They knew I was ready to go. They would send Mike Riley in the back of the bus with me. I'm in the back of the bus crying, ready to come home. We've been away from home for a month. I would do crazy stuff like in practice. I remember Coach Thompson closing down the practice when I caught Patrick in the air trying to dunk the ball, and I put him on his ass, and then I walked over him out the door. He called off practice. We went back to the hotel. It was a lot of stuff built up. So, not only that, that helped me play the way I played too, because I was ready to get on home. I was ready to go back home to my family.
So Mike, I gotta get off the air, but can I say something to you guys really quick? Mike, first of all, this for you personally. When I interviewed you, I believe now it's been 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you, at this point, to see you doing your own podcast and all of that, I've already told you guys, I interviewed George and Dr. J, Oscar Robertson, several other guys, Rick Barry, all them. But my 3 favorite interviews were people where they asked, where are they?
Right.
And so those 3 people were you, the enforcer. I told you how I feel about you.
Right.
There's William Bedford. And there's my guy, Chris Washburn.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my man.
Still talk to Wash. And so to see you 3 guys, man, people wondering where you are,
Nah.
Now I'm glad that they know that here you are, and you're doing fine. And you know, sometimes they try to write us off, man.
Yeah.
You know, out of sight, out of mind with a lot of
That's
people.
it.
But I'm glad to see what you're doing, your platform that you have now, man. And I just wanted to thank you tonight, man, and tell you guys that I love you, man, and being on here with all you guys, man. I feel like I'm around royalty, and I hope one day we can do it again.
And Mike,
well,
I
we
think
will,
you
man.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
for coming on, man. I really do, man. I'm trying to kick this thing off and make it a success. You know, with Bobby helping me out, can't go wrong, man. I just have to continue just doing what I'm doing and work hard at it. You know, I had to change platforms. It wasn't that the old platform wasn't good, but I think it wasn't good enough for what I wanted to do. So therefore, I had to change, and I think I like this platform a lot better.
Sometimes the first house you had on that block you didn't like, you moved to the next one. So
Yeah,
that just means you're making progress. I got to get off here, man. I'm ready to go on another show and talk about NBA. Hey, Mike, can we come back on? Can we come back one day, man? Because we didn't get time.
You know it, without a doubt.
You guys, man, and I'm going to talk about it tonight. I'm ashamed at how Milwaukee treated Dame Lillard, man.
Yeah, didn't they, man?
It's the business, Dirk.
But I understand that, Bobby. But I'm just saying,
That's
you can never get mad at the players when they try to hold out and they try to get every penny.
Correct.
Because this man came back off an injury,
right?
You know, vein thrombosis, and he comes back early, so you know he's not in top condition. And then he tries to play, and then he goes down, just like we just saw guys like Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. So all three guys were on zero.
You're only good as your last game.
Well, you're right. So I'll see you guys again, man. Y'all have a great night.
All right, you too, man.
I'll be talking to you again soon, Mike.
All right, guys. We're about to wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate my guests tonight, Derek Gervin, Phil Gamble, and Ricky Goins.
Coolest Coast High School's famous.
Hey, I just want to say, man, thank y'all for this old man, almost 100 years old, coming up on his 50-year reunion, man. And y'all want to hear what I got to say. I appreciate y'all, man, very much.
Hey, not a problem, man. I thank you for being on. And this is not the last time, so remember that.
All right, Mike, I love you, man. I love y'all, man. But one thing for
All
sure,
right,
two
much
things
love,
for sure.
man.
Hey,
Phil
Phil
Gamble,
Gamble,
sweet.
man. Pleasure meeting you and Ricky, man. Thank y'all, man.
All right, man. I see
Man,
y'all.
much love, man. Much love to all y'all, man.
Okay, good seeing you.
Mike, much love, big
too,
bro.
Man.
Much love, big bro.
You
All right,
know
Mike.
it. You know it. All right, Bobby.
All right.
I guess I'll be seeing you later. I want to thank the guests tonight for coming on, for keeping us company. I really do appreciate it. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Hopefully, I will get the schedule out earlier about our guest. We're going to be a little better with that now, so that you all will know ahead of time, and we can be able to get more guests. So I just want to say good night and thank you all again, once again, coming to the Michael Graham Show. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Okay. At the top right, Mike.
All right.
Y'all can
Good
stay
night,
on.
Mike.
Just end it at the top right, Mike.
Good night. All right.
Close.
You're still live.